Hey there, strategists. In this episode, I want to talk to you about how important it is for you as a strategist, whether that's you as the leader of your organization or whether you're selling and facilitating strategy for your own clients. I want to talk about the importance of having your own business coach or business mentor. This is the Simpligy Show with Bruce White, the podcast for business leaders and strategists to get the best practical advice on a deeper but more efficient approach to brand and business strategy right across a business's life cycle, because you can always add more value. Let's get into it. Now, there's a lot of people offering this type of service, and you have resources that you can take advantage of without having to sign up for a coach or a mentor, right? Like YouTube and blogs, and there's just so many ways to gather information, to gather knowledge at this point. But at some point, you're going to get to a question that can't be answered in a YouTube comment section or a blog comment section. And that's kind of an interesting inflection point for most people in business. See, typically, if it's just one question, and you can't get or you don't get a response when you do reach out to someone, whether that's in the comments of their video or if that's the comments on a blog or whatever, or even by email, if you reach out through an email or something like that, you've sort of got a decision to make. Do I want to continue to search for an answer to this question, or do I want to enlist help? That's sort of step one, right? And in my opinion, you don't actually need a business coach or a mentor at that point. That's not to say that you wouldn't get massive gains in the speed of execution and in the speed and ease of knowledge acquisition if you were to bring in a coach or a mentor at that point. Just that when you're just running into one or two problems here and there, you are likely in a decent place to take advantage of friends, family, relationships with clients, relationships with suppliers, even experienced staff, right? We're all surrounded by knowledge every day. It's just a matter of identifying the right fonts of knowledge that you can trust and who can help. And then sort of getting yourself past the I'm supposed to be the boss, so I can't ask for help, right? That ego process that would prevent you from asking people who maybe are considered at your level or even subordinate for help. So that's kind of stage one. And that can be for startups, right? If you're not busy enough yet, you've got the time to go and look for those answers yourself, to do your own research, to do your own evaluation. Or it could be for that highly capable type of introvert who's going to seek out answers in every single other possible avenue before reaching out to another human being, right? There are some of us that are like that. Now, fortunately, those of us who are that highly capable type of introvert are usually pretty stubborn and don't give up until we get those answers. But there's a second step that's going to come up at some point. And that's where, in my opinion, you are absolutely going to need to have someone in your corner. And that's when you need a sounding board or an easily reachable trusted advisor for when things heat up, right? So when things are moving faster, things move faster just naturally as you get more successful, and you're going to have less time to make decisions and certainly much less time to research and evaluate decisions. So at that point, that's kind of where you want that speed dial person. And to be clear, I am not talking about a tactical coach where they teach you steps or tactics to perform a function, right? That's a very, very closed coaching environment where you're employing them to show you how to do a certain thing. And outside of that, they're really not there to be of use to you. I mean, that's nothing against that type of coach. That's just not what you employ them for, right? What I'm talking about is a trusted advisor that you can call on, who's going to have some experience. They're going to have a list of contacts. They're going to have certain insights. They're going to have some strategic thinking capability. And most importantly, they're going to have your best interests at heart. And that last bit is typically what's going to be missing from the stage one people, right? The random blog posts or the YouTube or even the staff, even the family, even the friends, all of that. It's not that they want you to fail. It's just that if they don't dedicate themselves to that complete holistic understanding of what you're going through with your business and the insights that they need to apply to achieve success for you, if they don't dedicate themselves to your success versus anecdotal references to stuff they've experienced, if they're just kind of a library of answers, so to speak, there's no skin in the game. There's no real dedication to your success, right? So that's when I think you really need to have a business coach or a mentor or even just an on-call thinker who you can call on to help you make faster, better decisions easier because they know your situation, right? They're dedicated to your success and they've got the experience, the contacts, and the insights to steer you in the right direction using that strategic thinking ability, right? It doesn't mean that you're giving up control of your business or anything stupid like that. You're not bringing in a CEO or anything like that. Just that you're intelligent enough to recognize that you don't have all the answers and that it's time to admit that you don't have the time to learn all the answers, right? At that point, you still got to have the answers. Your business requires you to have the answers. You just have to get them externally instead of trying to be sort of totally self-reliant. So that's kind of when. That's stage one, maybe not. Will a mentor or coach help in stage one? Absolutely. They'll make it easier and they'll make it faster for you to get the right decisions. And they'll certainly eliminate making the wrong decisions, going down a path and then coming back. Stage two, yes, you do. You need a coach or a mentor or an on-call thinker. Absolutely. So that's when. Next up is how. And I think the only way to get the right coach for you or the right mentor for you is by relationship. We all have different styles, right? We've all got different experiences and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to get along with some people better than others. That's just natural humanity, right? First and foremost, that's key. You have to be comfortable enough with your coach or mentor that you're willing to show weakness to get help turning those weaknesses into strengths, right? Otherwise, what's the point if you go in there and just demonstrate strengths? And if you think about it, if you think about the way people often begin a relationship, I often talk about this when I'm discussing with my strategy clients on how they're doing their discovery process, why that's failing. And it's because with just a few questions, without drilling deeper, the person they're speaking to doesn't want to appear weak. And so they'll be answering their questions by putting it in the best possible light, where realistically, when you're asking for help, you need to put it in the worst possible light. You need to strip away all of the pretense and just get to the reality of, here's a problem I'm having, and I can't solve it without your help, right? So relationship-wise, you're going to know who you get along with. You feel that just by communicating with someone. In fact, you can probably get that. You can probably start to have some type of understanding of who you're auditioning to be a coach or a mentor before ever speaking to them, right? Watching their videos, listening to their podcasts, reading their blog posts, all that sort of stuff. After that, most coaches are going to have some type of process where you can start a relationship with no commitment, right? Speaking for myself, I offer a complimentary experience to people that I connect with. I don't mean connect with by email or LinkedIn. I mean people that I actually connect with, people that we share commonalities, people that I feel like I get along with, and people who I think I can really help, right? Where I can just get down to actually demonstrating that I can actually help on that complimentary experience call. Typically, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours together. There is no commitment. There's no price for it. It's just a matter of, is this someone who I can really help? I'm not going to go into detail about my reasons behind doing that. Suffice it to say, if you're going to try and offer something like this to your clients, it needs to come from a genuine, heartfelt desire to be valuable. Take all of the money side out of it. Take all of the business side out of it. You have to begin with a genuine, heartfelt desire to offer massive value to anyone you're communicating with, whether that's free or paid, right? I think you'll find that no matter who you're thinking of with regard to a coach or a mentor, most of them will offer options of something similar. It'll be a free call. It might be, if it's 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something, there's probably no value there. It's probably just someone trying to get you to sign. That's just going to be a pitch. If it's longer than that, you're probably going to be looking at someone who really does have your best interests at heart and their own best interests at heart, because they want to make sure that First of all, we're a fit. Second of all, I can actually help you, right? So you really want someone who's looking at that level of detail to start with. And of course, on top of actually getting along with that person, you want to make sure they can help you, right? Is their experience in line with where yours falls short, right? Are their insights in line with what you're looking for? Do you vibe with what they're saying? Do you click? Do you say, yes, that's 100% what I was thinking, I just didn't know how to say it like that, right? So how would you know that? Well, first of all, read their stuff. Listen to their videos, listen to their podcasts, and at some point, if you like what you're reading and hearing, reach out to them, ask some questions. And then finally, this one's kind of more of a personal thing that's really very important to me. Ask them if they have a coach or coaches of their own. Personally, I have two right now. I have one for business and I have one for mindset. And if I look back over the last 12 years, actually 13 years now, since I launched my company, the early days when I didn't have a coach or a mentor were the hardest days. That was when I really believed that I had to have all the answers, and it was because I was in an environment where I felt like my staff needed me to, right? This was early on in business. We had 7 staff plus my wife and I in our agency, so a 9-person agency, and I literally learned everything myself. Again, I'm that type of irrationally introverted personality where I kind of did everything possible not to have to ask for help, not to have to communicate at that human level, right? Fortunately, I'm also a very strategic thinker. I always have been, and I'm super stubborn. So I was able to work most of it out myself, and we ended up actually being quite successful in our agency. But I would have made my own life much easier, and I would have progressed my agency much, much faster had I known then what I know now about the value of coaching. In fact, in large part, my success with coaches of my own was behind my decision and desire to become a mentor for my strategy students in our strategy training programs. And that then just sort of expanded into strategic business mentorship in general, right? So that's really important to me. And I'd recommend that you ask that question when you're interviewing coaches or mentors. Do they have a coach of their own? Because if they don't believe in coaching enough to have their own coaches, it's a really tough sell to ask you to believe in it, right? So all that to say, you may or may not need a coach right now. If you're unable to find the answers that you need without it negatively affecting your business's progress, you might need a coach. If you're able to find the answers you need without slowing yourself down, without tripping yourself up, without making all the wrong decisions, it might be too soon for a coach. You might not even need one right now. If you're finding the decisions you're making are not right, if you're going down the wrong paths and then having to come back because you're taking that suck it and see approach, or if you're finding that making those decisions is taking so long and comes with such a lack of clarity that you're actually hurting your business's progress, now might be the time to get a coach or a mentor. And honestly, even if you're in that step 1, but you can afford a coach or a mentor, I don't know why you wouldn't have one as soon as possible, right? Again, by working with a professional, you're going to get that dedication to your success that you cannot find elsewhere. So take that into account. And if you've got any questions for me, please feel free to reach out. You can comment here. You can email me from the simpligy.com website. You're welcome to join me in our free strategists community. So that's a free community for leaders who are handling the strategy for their own businesses and for strategists who are delivering strategy to clients. That's simpligycollective.com. It's free. I'm in there daily and I am very happy to chat at any time. So however you feel like you want to contact me, if you've got questions, please don't hesitate. I'm an open book. I do actually genuinely love to help. And remember, everything that you do for your forward motion in your business is a learning experience. There is always something, even if it's considered a failure, there is always something there for you to take out of this as a positive to move forward. So my philosophy is prepare, breathe, and achieve. I'll see you next time. This is the Simpligy Show with Bruce White, the podcast for business leaders and strategists to get the best practical advice on a deeper but more efficient approach to brand and business strategy right across a business's life cycle, because you can always add more value.